Hey, welcome everybody. This is John Paul Mendoza, Dr. Speed Selling. This is the Raging Verbalist number 337. If you're keeping track, 337. And glad that we're here. We're a little day early, if you will, a little off schedule, but not by much. Of course, that's because of the holiday that's coming up. So today we're talking about declaring your independence. And the important part of this is the fact that, of course, for those who don't know, Raging Verbalist is where I talk about a topic that interests me, gets me going, gets me rolling. I do not race to politics, but we dip on it every once in a while. But today we were not going to go very deep into that because, frankly, it's all about your independence and declaring it. So July 4th is the 2026 is the 250th anniversary of the signing of the Declaration of Independence, which is seen as the founding of the United States. It would take years of war and bloodshed and trouble and difficulty, but that's when we declared independence. Now, millions of Americans and others may celebrate this monumentous occasion, and frankly, that duration is a lot. Quarter of a century, quarter of a millennium, century, quarter of a millennium is quite a feat. Now, it surprises me how many they don't even think about their own independence. Maybe, but not really, because most of us have all kinds of dependencies, all kinds of things that are trapping us. Therefore, they're locked in and chained to a lifestyle or a life that they say in the end that they don't really want. And I've seen that over the years happen to people. And the real question is, can you just declare your independence and it will be so? And the answer is no, absolutely no, because you have to actually make some decisions. And that's really what we're talking about today. And let's talk about how you go about making those decisions because it all starts in your mind. It all starts right up here. It's all what you start thinking about what needs to take place. You are the driver of your bus. You're deciding where it goes and who gets on it and who gets off it and all of those things. And then you need to decide where you want to go. And I know you're going to say, but John, I haven't had the opportunities. Maybe you have, or I have a different circumstance. We all have it. If you ever want to go out and, trade issues and problems and all that, first off, that's futile. Doesn't make any sense to me. But more importantly, is getting really serious about what you want to do in your life. Declare your independence, decide what you want to do. And to do that, let's go through that. Become crystal clear about what you would give up. Give up, not add to, but give up to get your independence. See, people like to think, well, if I want to be independent, that means I get to have everything. I get to have all of those things and more. And to me, that's a big mistake because you end up getting trapped by that because so many people are just going to chase things that really, in the end, do they really want? Do they really matter? Does it really make any sense? And they're assuming that those things will give them some kind of pleasure and joy. And maybe it does. Maybe it is that thing that you get. But just like my neighbor who ended up, wanting to buy a motorcycle, bought a motorcycle, rode it a little bit, enjoyed it. Okay, got it. Always wanted one. And then he had to sell it because he needed the dough. And well, he didn't sell it for anywhere near what it was probably had cost him because, well, that, he needed to sell it to somebody else who needed or wanted to buy a motorcycle. And the circle keeps going. Now, frankly, at the same time, this stuff pins you down and really crushes your chances of having independence. I'm not saying that you should live a very rudimentary life. I'm just saying be very clear about what you'll give up and what you really want, because that's very important. Now, I saw this up close and in person. I was at the Costco just the other day, and I was sitting there, and I go there long enough. By the way, little piece of insight. This is my 40th anniversary with Costco. Yay! Should have bought the stock is what I should have done. But no, let's not get into that. Anyway, so I'm sitting there talking to this guy, let's call him Bob. And he told me that he's getting close to his 10-year anniversary, which is kind of a big deal, young guy. And that, in fact, somebody recently had hit their 50th anniversary, and Costco at their 50th anniversary gives everybody a $5,000 bonus. But it isn't just $5,000 because, the government, every form of the government has their hand out. So Costco actually tops it up. So you net $5,000. Pretty cool. And I said, well, if you get there and he's a few years away, for heaven's sakes, take that money, think about it wisely, invest it in something good, and make it that little step forward, that little step towards independence, because money creates a certain level of independence that not having money will not. Now, of course, if you really want to go out and get something for the independence of our country or your own independence, I can recommend no better book than Most Businesses Fail in the First 5 Minutes. It just takes them 3 to 5 years to realize a position to win. Check it out. Go and get it from Amazon, Barnes and Noble, wherever books are sold. You can go ask for it. You can, of course, say, hey, this Mendoza guy, there's not a lot of Mendozas in the author ranks, and you go get it physically. You can also go get it digitally by Kindle or Barnes and Noble Nook or Apple iBooks, or you can go to my website, positiontowinbook.com, positiontowinbook.com, positiontowin.com. Okay, so let's look at the fact that I am going to tell you the most important thing. You need to use this occasion while you're sitting there thinking about 250 and what an amazing achievement, all that. Use this occasion to start building your independence plan. And that means that every single day you must declare your own independence, because no one's going to do it for you if you're expecting anybody to do it. By the way, all of these crazies that run around waiting for the government to give them something, lots of luck. That's not dependent. That's not independence. It's total dependency, and that's terrible. In my opinion, your life, whatever your life is, whatever it's going to be, whatever how it's going to happen, is in your hands, and you have to decide whether or not it's worth being free, whether it's worth being independent. I have a level of independence that most people that I know in my peer group don't have. I mean, I'm talking about my age group, but the people that I know, the people I work with, business partners that I have, everybody has a level of independence which gives them the freedom to do more of what they want to do than not. Now, that doesn't mean that they get to just, everybody's so rich they can just laze around. That's a myth. It was created and always has been perpetuated by those who want to convince you that that's not going to happen. So let's think about it this way. Banish those negative thoughts, banish those negative feelings, start becoming an adult and making decisions about the fact that every single day, and that means starting today, as soon as you get through watching this, every single day, I ask you to do one thing. Make sure that you say that your life is worth living, that you're worth it all, and that you declare your independence no matter how small it might be, no matter how big the dream is, because you are the one who makes that decision. And with that, I can say is happy 250th. I was there for the 200th, and that was a big deal when I was much younger. Still a big deal today. But I also cherish every day that I have some level and modicum of independence and strive to get more independence on a regular basis every day. And with that, I'm John Paul Mendoza, Dr. Speed Selling. This has been the Raging Verbalist. And until next time, cherish your independence and make yourself as free as you possibly can.